Hello, my name is Ray Hayes, and thank you for tuning in to Tuff Talk, where we discuss different issues about everyday life with everyday people. Right here, I have a special guest. For anybody that knows anything about music, you know this guest is big. I would like to welcome Sweet Pea.
Hi.
How you been doing, Sweet Pea?
Awesome. How are you?
I've been doing good so far. Doing real good.
Good, good.
I'm just blessed to have waking up another day.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yes, I mean, because once you wake up, the day can be filled with anything that you want.
Correct.
Well, a lot of people don't understand that. Your day is what you make of it. Yeah. Now, today, I know people was expecting, since they seen you on here, to really get into the music. But we're going to do that for another segment. Today, I want to bring you on here to talk about relationships.
All right.
I know you have a busy life, busy schedule, and there's some things that people just don't discuss when it comes to relationships. They either keep it between their guys or their girls.
Correct.
Or they keep it amongst themselves, which causes a lot of build-up and frustration in relationships. So
Absolutely.
there's some things I just want to talk about just to get things out there to get the discussion going for people.
Let's do it.
Okay, now the first thing I will ask is your current relationship status.
Oh.
How is that?
I'm
I
sorry?
mean, single, married, with someone, situation, friends with benefits.
In court, they say NOLO. That way. We going with that one.
Okay, that's a good start. That's a good start. Now, with your current situation, how long have you been in that situation?
11 years.
11 years. That's more than a low low. That's more than a low low. You done really put in some time on that. That's basically a life sentence right there.
Yeah, yeah.
But people think of life sentence as being a bad thing. If you have the right partner, it can be a good life sentence.
It can be. It can be. It really can be. Yeah, yeah.
Now,
balance is the key.
Exactly. Communication.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding.
You hit it
Now,
on the head.
I would like to ask you this question. With the downside of the relationship,
Okay.
who would you say has been the most at fault? You or the other person?
The downside, I would have to say the other person.
The other person.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you the type of person that even if you know that you've done something wrong, but you don't admit to it, or you just come out and openly admit to it? Like, okay, I was wrong for that. My bad. I would accept the consequences of that.
That's me. That's me. I'm gonna own up to my wrong.
That's
being grown.
But you'll be surprised how many people are not grown like that.
Well, one thing about it, when you say you're grown, every disagreement is not an argument.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order to stand on that, at some point, honesty has to kick in.
That's true, and most people do think like that. You still have them people. Just them people. Now, with the relationships, I'm going to step outside a little bit. With all the relationships that you've been in.
Don't say all.
Well.
The few.
The few. I mean, I don't know how many relationships you've had in your lifetime, so I'm going to put them all into one. Okay. Is there any relationship that you knew that it was your fault that you would like to go back and change if you had the chance to?
No, absolutely not. I've always done my part. It's always been on the meal. Unfortunately.
I get that, because talking with a lot of my friends, like I said, we have our little guy talks, because a lot of people don't believe that guys will sit and just talk about stuff like that. Me and my friends, we do.
Right.
We talk about relationships, we talk about kids, marriage, money, and stuff like that. I mean, I'm at a point in my life where talking about clubbing and going out to have sex with females, I didn't pass that point now. I want more. I have 5 kids.
Absolutely.
So, and 4 of them are daughters.
Oh, so change is in place.
Exactly. I have to set an example for my daughters to see that this is the type of man that I want.
Correct.
By showing respect and how I treat their mothers.
That's right. That's right.
Now, do you believe, because I had this conversation with some people before, as far as like when you get in a relationship, bring in your kids in if you have kids to meet that person in an early age.
No.
I mean, not at an early age, at an early time.
I don't believe in that at all. Okay, I don't believe in it at all. I feel like the kids should be the last to meet whomever because this is not a game.
That's very true. Now, do you have a specific time frame, or does it depend? Did it depend on the individual and how you feel it?
Definitely has to depend on the individual because timing is everything. True. So if you put a time frame on something, it may not be what you want it to be. So I just let it flow. Okay. You understand?
Yeah.
Because energy is everything.
That is very true. Very true. And I do believe in that. I believe in the spiritual energy and connections with people. Because you can be with someone that something just don't feel right. And I tell people all the time, maybe their spiritual energy is conflicting with yours. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because it's true that you have to be equally yoked.
Yes.
It's true. So if you're not equally yoked, then there's a problem.
Yes. That's very true. Okay, I would like to ask you another question.
Go ahead.
Now, say you're out on the street. You see someone that catches your eye. What would be that first thing about them that would catch your eye? We'll do physical first because you're not talking to them yet.
I'm big on that smile. That smile first. Okay. And then when it comes to you said physical. So when it comes to the body,
first few seconds,
they have to be like a quarterback, linebacker. Yeah, I just like them like that. They got to be built like that, baby.
Okay. I respect that.
Yeah.
Now.
Broad shoulders, beautiful smile.
Okay.
We can get past everything else. Yeah, cosmetic, baby. We can get past everything else.
Now, would you be the one that would go up and approach a person, or are you the one that would want them to come approach you?
I'm not approaching anyone. No, seriously. When I was younger, it was more like, absolutely no, I'm not approaching anyone. You had to approach me. Okay. But now that I'm fully grown, if it's something that I want, I'm going after it. Because the answer is yes for me at all times.
Okay. Okay, I respect that. But I've noticed, mainly since I've been here in Atlanta, not too many women are like that. They won't come up and approach. I've seen women from a distance stare, or they'll wave a little bit, or they try to get you intrigued to come and talk to them, but they won't take that first step to come and initiate anything.
You know how, and I speak for those women because I'm from Atlanta, but you know how when they say you meet a female and you know what you want, your past relationships hinder certain things, things of that nature. True. That's what a female from Atlanta is thinking. You understand what I'm saying? She's trying to, the wall is already up. Like, hold on. I'm not going for a second or third time. You understand what I'm saying? So she's just really on edge about the past relationship and just making sure that you are that right guy. Yeah. Okay. That's the Atlanta thing.
Okay, I mean, I've been here for 11 years now. And I guess I haven't ran into a woman like you yet. Well, I can't really say that because majority of the time I was here, I was married.
Okay.
So my eyes weren't even paying attention to that. But now that I'm single, I've been noticing that more. And which I don't mind taking the first step because if I see someone that I'm attracted to, of course I'm gonna go over there and talk to them.
Correct. You're supposed to.
Yes. It's just once we get past that initial meet, it hasn't really been right. I don't know if I'm attracted to the wrong type of women. I don't know, but the conversations, they just not there.
It's so sad. It's so sad because I hear that about men. I feel that way sometimes. Like your approach is it's off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you call, you saying the wrong thing. When you text, I can't read. Didn't make sense. You know what I mean?
My goodness.
So you got to become correct.
No. What about this? Because I be hearing a lot of guys talking about shawty this and shawty that. I mean, how does that? When someone comes to you talking like that, what comes to your mind?
At this age, it's unacceptable. At this age, if I hear that, it's like I'm on a playground with somebody's son, with somebody's little boy, because I'm not going for that.
That's good. Because it irritates me. It irritates me. I mean, I'm 46, and if I'm sitting with one of my guys, they're trying to get female attention, like, well, we riding by, or they yelling out the window, it reflects badly on me.
Correct.
Because I'm okay. We're both in our 40s, but you making it seem like we're like still in our 20s. No, I don't know. It very much so. It is. It is. Now, going back to relationships. Has there been a time in any of your relationships where it was extremely bad? Where you're just like, you know what? There's nothing. I just need to get away immediately.
Yeah.
You know, well.
But God.
I was gonna say something about God. I mean, you always have to keep God first anyway. I mean, He's never gonna put more on you than you can handle.
That part.
It's just some people tend to forget that.
You can't though. You can't.
You can't. That's why you always. Me, I pray every day, regardless of what it is. I pray when I wake up. I pray with my kids, just so my kids get that built and instilled inside of them to know that I'm there, we're with God. So anything is possible with that.
Absolutely.
And that keeps them moving on day to day.
Exactly. And remember, prayer changes all things, not some, but all.
That's very true.
So when it comes to relationships, friendships, family, business, music, prayer changes all things, not some. So I try to keep that in mind.
That's good.
It's a powerful tool.
It's been working for you. You have a long career.
Definitely.
I mean, we still. I see you with your answer with the 11 years. it's still something that need to be figured out with that.
I was kind of dishonest with the no part. But hey, that's life. It happens like that. See, as an artist, we wasn't open to share that information, you guys. So in 2020, I kind of still stick with the 1996 era. Forgive me.
What I believe is, myself personally, in relationships, sometimes I see the same pattern. And what I had to start telling myself is, God is trying to get me to understand something that I missed in the last relationship. Correct. That's why He keeps bringing it back around to me again. Correct. There's obviously some that I missed that He wants me to understand. Correct. And I think this last time around, I think I got it.
Good for you. Good for you.
Because I kept going back to the same thing, the same routine, but nothing was changing. And it was an eye-opener for me, because there were certain things that I had to realize about myself that I needed to change for myself. Because if you don't change yourself, the relationship, even regardless if it's a different person, the relationship is still going to be the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Then when I came to the realization of that, it hit me hard. It hit me real hard.
Because see, what happens is when people get into relationships, friendships, marriages, what they do is they lose themselves.
And I did.
And you can never lose yourself. Self is very important. Even with having 4 children. Oldest son, soon to be 23. Just have a son turned 12. Set of twins, boy and girl, 8. I never lost myself. You know, I would pick up the weight. I mean, an extra almost 200 pounds with the twins. After I had them, the mind frame was make sure I lose that weight. Being in a relationship, like you said, you're going to have problems, you're going to have issues, you're going to have situations where you can't communicate. Somebody have to be the bigger person. But that's where, when you know God, when you know prayer, when you know obedience is the key, then you do all those things.
Yeah, sometimes you know that, but when you're in that situation, it just becomes so easy to be petty sometimes.
But see, here's the thing now. Here's the thing. You correct. But overly petty is too much. You understand?
True.
So when you just keep going, you're overly petty. Okay? You got to stop at some point.
That's very true.
Because we're not going to have children and be raising children and acting like children. Now, that devil is a lie.
I agree with that.
It's too much energy.
Yes, too much wasted and negative energy. And it drains on the whole family.
Correct.
It does.
When you could be putting together in prayer and finding some laughter and joy.
Yeah.
I don't have the time. I don't. So I would just exit out. I mean, the same way I signed the dotted line. Oh, I think I just told on myself.
Yeah, man.
You signed the dotted line, didn't you? Rip the papers up.
Yeah.
Simple.
In a sense, it is that simple. But mentally and emotionally, it's not. It's definitely not.
Correct.
You know, I know people have been waiting for me to talk about this because of my marriage. They wanted me to get on here and to bash my soon-to-be ex-wife. And even though we have issues, I won't do that. I mean, there are some things that I will clear up because I have been bashed on social media quite a few times. Some things exaggerated, some things total lies, and others are true. Now, I could have went back and did the same thing. I mean, I'm not going to lie, there was a couple of times I was a little petty. You know, when you get upset and you feel like you've been constantly being attacked, is the only thing you can do is to fight your way up out of it.
Of course.
So I was petty back a couple of times just to fight myself out. Okay, no, you're not going to sit here and just keep downing me and make me seem like I'm just this monster when most people that know us know I'm the total opposite. Now, I can be an a-hole when I want to be. And majority of the time, that's because I've been so nice to the point where I just can't be nice anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, for a long time, I forgot myself in a marriage. I put myself to the back burner. And a couple of times, it took my kids to make me realize that. Like, whenever I would go out to the store or something, I would never get anything for myself. I would always get something for my wife and my kids. And to one day, my kids came up to me like, Daddy, why you don't never get anything for yourself? You're always thinking about us and our mama, why you don't think about yourself? And it clicked into me. Like, you've forgotten you. You've forgotten who you are. I would drop any and everything for them. Whatever it was something I need to do for myself, no, that's okay. Family first. And it took its toll on me for years. And I think that's why, me and her, we went back and forth for the last 5 years, splitting up, getting back together, splitting up, getting back together, because I didn't know who I was without her. So
that's good. Now that's good.
Yeah. And it's good, but it's bad also.
I say that's good because you recognize that.
Yeah.
Some men can't even recognize that. And that becomes a problem. Because a man can't be so dependent on a woman because it's a woman's job to be so dependent on a man.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's the thing. For you to put yourself on the back burner for your family and your wife, you know how many women out here is looking for a man like you? Child, wait a minute. I can call up about 10 right now. You understand? No, for real, it gets serious because men forget the traditional way of loving and caring and nurturing for a family. And if you're still doing that, then that's awesome.
I appreciate it.
You're not from Atlanta.
No.
I was just teasing.
No.
So when you ask why Atlanta women act like that, because we be trying to find those kind of men, child. What? Yeah, that's what's up.
I mean, there was a time in my relationship where I was actually told to stop doing certain things, like bring the flowers all the time. I used to bring at one point I would bring 2 dozen roses a week, one for the living room, one for the dining room table. And whenever I would go to the store, and I tell most men this, even the smallest thing when it comes to the woman that you're with is appreciated. Like sometimes I would go to the store and I knew that she would like pineapple olives. If I saw them, it immediately made me think about her, and I would get some just for her, just to show her I was thinking about her for the day. But it gets to the point sometimes when you feel like you're doing so much, now the person has gotten so used to it, and they don't consider it as being something nice anymore. They just expect it. So when I started seeing that, it just made me stop wanting to do stuff. Stop wanting to just be more attentive. Stop being as patient as I was. I mean, I still would, even to this day, like when I saw her a little while ago, I saw something in the store and it clicked back to the past.
Right.
I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead. Even though we're not together, I can't allow myself to change who I am.
Right.
Because I was raised like that.
Right, absolutely. That's
my grandmother and my mother, they ain't playing that disrespect with me.
Right.
I have, 12 aunties. And they're not going to play that with me.
Oh, you already know how we coming, man.
Yeah.
Play with us.
No. But I mean, it's a give and take.
It is. It
Give
is.
and take.
I do believe that, from what I'm hearing, like I tell a lot of people, like, marriages outgrow each other. People outgrow themselves in a marriage. Let me say it that way. A marriage can be very challenging to a point where who you once were, like you said, you're no longer that person, and you have your reasons. But again, I feel like if you brush off what you really care and love, and then when you think about it, I think we have seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall. I think that when summer comes, people get hot. You understand?
Yeah.
I think when spring comes, people chill a little bit. You understand where I'm going with this? So you understand where I'm going with this. I just think that, we should still hang in there. Sometimes hanging doesn't mean remain married. Sometimes it just means hanging in there to be cordial for the children.
Okay. I agree.
For the sake of the time we've invested, wasted.
Very true.
You know, so I just think that sometimes we should just hang in there. Sometimes. It's up to you.
Now,
I don't put up with too much.
With the current situation of 11 years, that's been
you know what? Don't keep bringing that back up.
What do you think, if you can change anything about that relationship right now so it can be better on both sides? In your own opinion, what would you change so it can be better? Or what would you want that person to change or adjust?
Communication. And for me, balance. Communication for him, balance for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you, since you know those things, as far as with yourself, because you can't really change another person.
Right.
Have you thought about any steps to change the balance in your life?
Yeah, and I've made those adjustments already. Okay. And I'm always first to make those adjustments because I feel like I'm the bigger person. I feel like if I say I love God, I'm the prayer warrior, then I always take the first step. God do. So I try to operate like that.
Okay. Does that bother you sometimes?
Yes. Don't make me yell. Heaven, yes.
But if it's, you said God is patient.
Very much so.
So, with that, when it comes to that, do you stop and think sometimes, okay, maybe I'm supposed to be the teacher person right now?
Correct.
So if you keep that in mind, knowing that that's what God has placed you in, part of why God has placed you in this relationship, maybe that'll calm you down maybe a few times more than others.
Correct. And that has happened. That's what's going on right now.
Ooh, the facial expression. Facial expression.
I'm just being honest. It's rough.
It is rough. Relationships are rough. But they are beautiful when they work, and they are very rough when you rough.
Yes. But you can make it beautiful again.
You can.
You can make it beautiful again.
It's accepting your mistakes. It's accepting your mistakes and owning up to them.
Correct.
A lot of people say, hey, well, you're a nice guy. You didn't do anything wrong, but I'm human. There are things that I've done to my wife. Well, like I had told her before, it's just knowing and realizing the things that you've done and being willing to change them. If not for that person, for the next relationship. And just for yourself. Yeah, just for yourself.
That part, because if you, like you said, if you don't work on self, you said this in the beginning of the conversation, if you do not work on self, what can self offer the next person? Child, family, husband, boyfriend. You can't offer anyone anything.
That's true.
You don't know nothing about yourself.
That's very true. Well, Sweet Pea, it has been a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Always.
And I'm glad you came, took time out to come talk to me. I know I sprung it up on you at the last minute. What y'all don't know is, I originally had different couples that was supposed to come on the show today, but then it was brought down to just, I could only have one guest. And I actually called her up last night, and she was like, sure, I'll come on and be on the show with you. So I am very grateful. I know you got another event to go to, and y'all tune in because I'm going to be doing a show about music. and she will be back on here. We're going to get into all her music, talk about everything, all her things she has going on, because she has a lot of stuff going on. She's very busy, very busy. And once you tell them how they can get to your social media, how they can contact you, the platforms your music on, so they can go download and buy some of her music.
Absolutely. All right, y'all already know it's your girl Sweet Pea, just the letter P, Sir D-E-N-T. On IG, I'm at The Real Sweet Pea, just the letter P. On Facebook, Sweet Pea Bossed Up, BOSSED-UP, Sweet Pea Bossed Up. Twitter and all that other stuff, I've totally forgot the names, but music, all major platforms. You already know how you can find me. All major platforms. It's your girl Sweet Pea.
And there you go. Tune in. We'll be on Roku, YouTube, and you can follow me at New Money ENT, all social media. And then also Tuff Talk. If you have any questions or you want to try to get on the show, email me at toughtalk2020@gmail.com. Thank you guys for being there and enjoying this time with us. Have a good day.
Bye-bye now.